Hello, welcome back to the Off-Grid family. Today has changed. Today I was working on an ice machine that's broken to make a K40 laser cooling system. But I bought a broken ice machine because I can't afford an actual working one. And the plan was to fix it, make sure it makes ice, and then move it over, take bits off, and turn it into a cooling system. However, let me tell you a little story. Whoever's a tinkerer in your house will ask to buy things. And you'll get a look like, oh God, not another piece of rubbish. Until you get it to work and it's something they want. And then they'll give you another look like, I've let you buy a lot of rubbish in the past. You fix that piece and I want it now. Either give it to me or I'll beat your head in. And that's what's happened now. So if I get this ice machine to work, I'll have to come up with another way of making a cooling system because this has now been ordered, let's say. So if I fix it, brilliant, I've made an ice machine and won some brownie points possibly, but it won't be for the K40 this time, unfortunately. So let's get on, see if we can fix it first. If I can't fix it, I will be turning it into a K40 cooling system with the bits I can get working. If not, I'll come up with something else. I do have another idea in case. Anyway, let's get on with it. Okay, turn it on. I've noticed that every now and again there's water coming out from underneath. I thought originally that the plug that you can empty it with, that's on all freezers and fridges and that kind of thing, I thought that was a bit loose, but no, it's not. So I think that's probably where some of the problems started. So we'll investigate and see what's what. After taking the case off, it was quite evident that the pipe had somehow split, whether it was too hot or whether it had eroded for some reason, I'm not entirely sure. But I decided to splice a new pipe in between this, and the reason I did that was because the front of the actual casing is all glued down to the insulation and I didn't want to have to rip it all out and then try and fix that. So I thought the easiest way is just shove a piece of pipe in between it. I found these T-junction pipe clips and I just filled a piece of pipe with hot glue, stuck it on one of them, so now it just became a connector and it worked pretty well actually. I connected this to the original piping that was there and then connected the new pipe to it. And then connected both pipes together with another T-clip that I'd made into a junction. And as you'll see by the pipe moving every so often, there is water being pumped through it with no leaks whatsoever. Happy days. Right at this point I thought I'd fixed it and I was like, oh wonderful, and I'd noticed that the ice cubes were inconsistent in size and sort of what they look like. The first lot that's supposed to come through is supposed to be a bit dodgy, the second lot a bit dodgy but less, and then from then on it should have been absolutely fine and they should have all been consistent in size and shape and so on, but they weren't. They were on and off, on and off. And now I've just noticed that the fan doesn't always turn on. When it turns on, they're a nice size, obviously because it's cooling all of the hot bits down, but when it doesn't, they become quite inconsistent. So what I think's happened is, I think that the leak has actually touched the fan and that's where the problem is. So I'm just going to swap out the fan. I've looked around and I've got an old power pack with the same fan, so I'll just swap that out and hopefully that works. So it's just a straightforward take one out of one, put it in the other. This is a really old power pack I found, so it's just a case of snipping the wires and soldering them back together.
fairly straightforward. You could have just used some sort of clips to connect them together, as long as there was no chance of them touching or touching any of the other metal. But I always like to solder everything if possible. Like a clever Trevor though, before I soldered anything together, I just wanted to test to make sure it was the fan that was broken, because sometimes with water damage you just don't know where the damage is, and it may have been something other than the fan. So basically I'm just hoping that the fan will start up, and it did. Then all I have to do is put this back together, put the fan in, and we should be all fixed. Obviously after a little clean though. I never throw away old toothbrushes. You will be surprised by how many jobs they will help you with. Now it's just a case of snipping the relevant wires, stripping all the ends, tinning them, and then I always use heat shrink tubing on all of my joints just to stop anything touching anything that it shouldn't. It's just a safety thing in my opinion. Right, they're all safe and secure, on to the next bit. Just screw the fan back using the original screws. This is the point where you spend 10 to 15 minutes struggling trying to put the case back on because it's a pain in the bum, and then just screw it all in.
Okay, so it is working, and it's working really well. So basically I now don't own an ice machine or a cooling system for the K40. But I hopefully will score some brownie points with Crystal, and you know, if she gets bored of it, then I will use that for the K40. If not, as I say, I do have another idea. I'm thinking maybe about a drinks cooler, and then I can actually have that on most of the time, and it will just keep the water at, I think it's about 4 degrees, 3 or 4 degrees, which will be ideal. But the reason I didn't go straight away with the drinks cooler is I don't know how quickly they can get them down to that level, because obviously you don't want to be doing lots of lasering and the temperature's creeping up and can't be dropped at a fast enough speed. So I will have to do some investigating with that. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.